about people talking about The Rock.
His comedy made on Fox News. Yeah, they talked about that on The View today. You said he cleaned up what he said as well?
No,
you
you
do
can
a
listen
follow
to
up?
him. Yeah, you don't have people been talking about it all day.
Okay. They must have talked about the actual interview.
What he actually said.
What he actually said. Now, if he came back since then, I can see where people went another way with that, though.
Right. But so yeah, pray
his
for
political platform that he
we was talking about the earthquake.
Okay. You found something? I didn't know you were looking.
No, I was just saying, just pray for the people in the earthquake.
Yeah, if anyone got, hurt, unfortunately, that's not good news, but we're praying.
But The Rock, what they went out with, said The Rock will not endorse Biden again. And he said, my goal is to bring this country together. So what did you say? You said they talked about this on The View, right?
Mm-hmm. They showed his
So let's show
interview.
what he said.
Earthquake going on Fox and Friends. Superstar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was asked about. Yeah, he was asked about. Are his relatives here? What? He was asked about putting his weight behind Joe Biden in the last election. So watch.
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I'm not going to do that, because what I realized, what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division.
So a couple of questions. First of all,
now, I don't know why the audience is booing. What he said was right.
No. People thought.
That's what I'm saying.
And they probably took excerpts from the interview.
Which
I
they
bet
did.
you they did.
Which they did.
Because he said, am I going to do that again?
No.
No, that could have been to something else.
Oh, right.
Stemming from, because right away, the way they made it flow, I voted for him back then.
Well, not voted, endorsed.
I endorsed him back then. Well, am I going to do that again?
Right,
no.
right.
People are like, yeah, Republicans.
Right. Okay, so before I go into what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to attempt to bring you in, Wendy. So hopefully,
make sure your background noise is off.
Right.
So we won't hear talking. Poor Wendy. Make sure Sherlock is not barking.
Why you say poor Wendy?
As far as her setting up, being ready.
Oh. Okay.
I think, the problem that we have with a lot of interviews, they take bits and pieces from people's interview and they build the narrative. And the person sitting there going, when I said that, it wasn't because of that. It was, so it sounded like you can tell it was a different piece from something. It wasn't a flow. It wasn't a continuous flow. There she is.
All right. So can you hear us, Wendy?
Can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. So we're all good.
Good.
So
okay, we're good.
What we were talking
Happy Friday, friends on Friday.
To you.
What we were
Story time.
What we were talking about is the Rock.
His interview on Fox News.
I didn't see it, but he's against Biden.
No.
Well, that's what I was telling Kim. I mean, you played it, you heard it. That's what people hear right away. It sounds like what he did when he endorsed him before, he's not doing it again. It was real clear.
So I'm going to.
But if they did wrong by taking out another part of his discussion, he needs to clear that up. If he doesn't care, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we need to hear the whole thing. We need to know what he said entirely.
Thank you.
Well, for me, I think he said what he said, and I don't think he need to clear it up. And I also don't feel like even if he didn't want to endorse or vote for Biden, what does that matter?
So, Kim, what do you think he was saying?
What I think he was saying is, why is this open? But anyway, what I think he was saying.
Video. When you show a video, it doesn't show the picture of the video.
Hold on. What I think he was saying was that he didn't want to go out and endorse anybody again, because as soon as you endorse somebody, people think that you choose sides, which is exactly what's happening right now. And it causes division.
You need to go into Chrome and change
So
that.
do you get the gut feeling that he's against Biden?
I think that he's saying that he don't want to go out and endorse anybody again because he feels like when he does that, it causes division, which it does. It's already causing division, and he didn't even say anything. People assume that and this is the thing that I'm trying to say. Let's go for the worst case scenario, and that is he's saying, I'm not going to vote for Biden. So what does that matter? He's still the Rock. I don't understand why people, this country, and that's why I told you, you can't be my friend if you vote for Biden. You can't be my friend if you vote for Trump. You going to hell. You're not a Christian if you vote for Biden. Or you going to hell if you vote. What is this?
I like how Killer Mike said.
Well, I mean, it makes some sense. It makes some sense. I couldn't be friends with someone who was a Trumpster.
That's not me. I don't care. What does it matter?
But let me tell you why. I couldn't be a friend with someone who's a Trumpster because we have nothing in common. We're going in two different directions. So if you want to support Trump, you go on over there and support Trump. But I'm not going to endorse you because what you're endorsing is evil.
So if you had a friend and they was fornicating, would you still be friends with them, or your friends have to be perfect? Can your friend fornicate or drink if you don't believe in drinking or smoke?
I still be friends
with them. That's a little different to me because sin is sin. So whether you lie or fornicate. So what, I'm not going to be friends with you because you're a liar? No. The reason why I say that about Trump is because what Trump is doing is dangerous. Like those birds you said are coming. Suppose they really came and it was overwhelming and he was in charge. I wouldn't feel he could protect us. He's a dangerous person.
But that's what you believe.
Well, it's actually a fact. We've seen it when we had COVID. He was totally out of control. He really became a mass murderer because he told so many people, oh, drink bleach and it'll be gone by Easter. That's really absurd and dangerous. As a fact, that's what he did. So he's already shown me evidence that he's not a good person. He's not dependable. He's not articulate enough to handle something that large, on that large scale. We've seen it already.
I think for me, the thing with The Rock, and you're right, because the women on The View, they definitely shared their view on, we don't, first of all, they talked along the lines of entertainers, athletes who have that platform. They're not required to say who they're voting for or not, who they're endorsing or not. And he never said he was endorsing Trump. That was the thing too. If you listen to his interview, and I told Kim, I said, I honestly think when he talked about how he did endorse Biden back then, he won't. You can tell there was a different clip on the discussion. And of course, the Fox News wants a popular man like him to be on their side. So, but he never said, I'm going to support Trump. He can go independent and vote for Kennedy. We don't know. But
so did somebody ask him the question, or did he volunteer?
They asked him. But my point was, just like how you feel strongly about people who vote for Trump, that Trump is a danger for the country, I can make the same argument on people on the right who feel Biden is a danger. Because
why is he a danger?
They'll tell you. They'll say that number one, they feel like foreign affairs is ridiculous, giving billions and billions of dollars to Israel and Ukraine, giving money to Israel when they are basically destroying Gaza and all the people that live in it. And all of a sudden, Biden wants to change that because he sees it's not popular in this country. Or not give all that money, the billions of dollars that you're doing, you haven't put any of that money into your own country. Your border is open. You got people from Venezuela and Mexico who have social media accounts telling people, come on over because America's stupid and their borders open. Not only that, you can come squat. They ain't going to do nothing about it. You can do whatever you want in this country because this country won't do anything about it. Some people might turn around and say that's just as dangerous because they look at that as a danger, leaving an open border with drugs and everything coming through. So what I'm saying is your argument could be seen on both sides. And they would be saying the same thing about people who vote for Biden. I see it on social media. They say, if you're voting for Biden, you can't be my friend because you're not a Christian. You're not saved. You believe in abortion.
I think Liz Cheney said it well when she was on the show, because a lot of the things that is kind of like what you were saying, Wendy, there are Republicans that are still Republicans because they really believe strongly in the policies and all of that for the Republican,
the financial responsibility.
So we get like Alyssa is Republican. Liz Cheney is Republican. The McCain's, his wife, his widow, his wife is one. We do understand we have different political views on things and how the country should be ran. But the one thing I do agree with, I kind of see both sides. I like Liz is the middle. She and I think McCain today would have been like that, and Alyssa. There are
McCain's wife voted Democratic the last time.
Well, there was a comment she made. She said, "I've been in the administration with Trump. I've seen the damage he can do to the democracy." And I think a lot of Republicans are kind of jumping ship on that political party and keeping the democracy. As much as she don't agree with Biden, she even said that there's a lot of policies I don't agree with that man. But she said, I am really concerned about our democracy and how it's working now. The checks and balances, our Senate, everything.
I agree. And that's what Wendy was saying.
And she feels, as a Republican, he will mess that up.
That's what Wendy's
very
saying.
Bad.
Wendy's saying he's what is it? He'll destroy the country.
And that's why I agree with her as a Republican coming forth and saying
Trump is a menace. Trump is a menace to society.
But what we was talking about, and I agree, I think he's a lunatic.
Being friends with
and I think he's a nut job. But that's what we think. That's what we believe. That's how, just like they on the other side feel just as strong if you vote for a candidate who is pro-abortion. They believe you killing kids. So they believe Joe Biden is evil. So all I'm saying is I have friends on both sides.
Right.
I was arguing with a guy today who's a friend of ours. I'm not going to say his name on here, but you know who he is. He was talking about the January 6th people being hostages. He's going with the man that agrees with he's a nut job. And I argue with him and told him, you're stupid. They are not hostages.
You explain what a hostage really is.
But I like that dialogue. I don't have to have, that's why I brought up in the beginning, Wendy, when I said, I don't have to have people in my life who agree with
totally agree with everything.
Because just as much as I see smoking or whatever as destructive, they may not. They may be like, it's nothing. I don't see nothing wrong with that. And I can argue with them about that and call them a knucklehead and say things like
agree
and say
disagree.
And say it's destroying the country.
Guy, and I believe we can get better.
Agree to disagree. That's what
right.
Yeah.
So you just agree to disagree. But that's kind of what The Rock is saying.
Yeah.
If I endorse somebody, this country has gone to the point to where brothers and sisters aren't even talking to each other anymore because somebody's on the right side and somebody's on the left side. He's saying, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to divide the country. Well, my mother said Trump already's done that. Biden hasn't. Biden don't care he was friends with McCain. He don't care if you're Republican, but Trump has brought in this thing to where you got to choose a side. Yeah. It's like you got to be either on my side or you're on the wrong side. Right. And The Rock is saying, I'm not buying into that. And I believe he doesn't want to endorse Biden. If he's thinking like I'm thinking, I wouldn't endorse him either. He's done a horrible job. And that's my opinion. I don't like Biden. Nor says she don't.
It's one thing to vote for him.
Right.
It's another thing to endorse him.
Yes.
Right. You can endorse him But if you don't fully believe in what he's doing, you don't have to tell everybody. Keep your mouth
That's
shut.
true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Well, no, I'm going to tell you if I don't like what he's doing.
But that's why I was trying
But
to
I'm
tell
saying,
you.
know, if you got issue with it, you want to vote for him, but you don't want to support him, just keep your mouth shut.
That's why I was saying.
Oh, for who you voted for, yeah.
That's why I was saying to you when you make this, and this is your opinion because you sometimes different than me.
I am different than you.
I don't like when we do. I like when Liz Cheney or Condoleezza Rice or somebody like that on the total opposite side to say, I don't like what this man is doing with the country. He's really taking it. I'm not talking about Trump. They don't like Biden and what Biden is doing, the decisions he's made in foreign affairs with the migrants, whatever. But I like McCain people to say, I still respect him. I'm not going to say I don't like him.
So then you don't.
Those are strong words.
You've never
to say I don't like him.
So you've never said that about Trump.
I don't.
Trump. You can't say you don't like Trump.
Trump. Either. I don't like how Trump is.
Trump is not a likable.
I really
Trump
don't.
is not a likable person.
I'm not going to fake it. No, I told you. I do see the what do you call it? The what's the word you give him?
You don't like his personality.
He's a hustler.
Yeah. Well, no, we're talking about him.
No, I'm applauding the man for being a hustler. He tries to do what he needs to do to get himself out of stuff.
But you don't like his personality.
Loopholes. It's not about his personality because when he throws shade, you're like, oh man, he cracking now. Okay, I crack too. I don't like how he goes further and digs deeper with shade throwing. He gets ugly about it. He gets
but
ugly.
The fact
and
of
I don't
the matter
like that
is,
spirit in him.
The fact of the matter, he's not a good hustler because all his companies go bankrupt.
He getting old. He's stupid.
I know. He is a hustler though. He'll try. He'll do what he need to do to get.
It's working because the numbers are in his favor.
Yeah. And the narcissist about him, he loves people to love him, and that's who he is. He's always been like that. I don't even know if I cared much about him when he was in the entertainment world, because on Celebrity Apprentice, I would get upset with him sometime on how he would be talking to the entertainers on the show. Mm-hmm. And he gives some of them favor and some of them not. I like when he brought his daughter in because I love her fairness. And then the older man that died, I like them, but I didn't like him. So
let's look at this.
I'm consistent.
All right, let's look at this because I like to look at what young people say.
Oh, well.
Young voters who are saying that they don't like Biden, which is what I was saying. I genuinely could not live with myself if I voted for someone who's made the decisions that Biden has. This is a 23-year-old. I didn't even feel great about voting for him in 2020. The feeling helps. Biden is showing why the young people don't like him. They don't like, again, I told you the stuff in what he's doing with Gaza. They don't like a lot of stuff that he had ran on and promised. A lot of that stuff is not really being done. Same way with Trump with building a wall. He never really built a wall. I guess the young people, if you remember back in the day, they was really for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Because they were more progressive and more moving forward. Yeah. Whereas Biden seems to be more, well, whoever, is gonna give me more money. That's kind of like who I'm gonna go with. Like, if you give me this money, I'll go with you. Same as Trump. To me, I've always said this on the show, and I've been consistent. Like you said, you've been consistent. I think Biden is a hustler and he's a liar too. The only difference is I think he's better. Mm. He comes off as a soft little old man, and Trump is a nincompoop, a moron. So people see him different. Uh-huh. If you go back and look at Biden's record, more black men locked up under Biden when he was a senator and governor and all of that. Not governor, but senator. So a lot of stuff that he has passed even before he became president, even with what's her name? Kamala. Mm-hmm. Kamala. It's a lot of black men in prison because of them. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And Clinton.
And Clinton too, when he signed. Yeah, it hurt a lot of black men in the prison system.
Yeah, but I get mad when they say that because she locked him up. She didn't set him up. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. A lot of people deserve what they got. They act like Camilla committed the crime. You committed the crime.
Yeah, but she didn't go after businesses and these organizations and these guys that do white collar crime.
That may be true.
Why you picking off the black man? That's easy.
Yeah,
that may be true, but at the same time, they have to accept some responsibility for what they did,
Oh
because
yeah, that's
she
true.
locked them up. She didn't set them up.
And then there's a lot of them that's locked up, like Lenore said yesterday, that get out 20 years later because they didn't have the right DNA.
But you got to think about some reason too. When something come at you like that, and you in that prison wall, there's some reason why you're there. Whether you did that particular crime, whether you did something in the past, or maybe God is talking to you, and that's the way to get you saved. Yeah. We don't know why they in prison. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Kamala was very instrumental in a high percentage of our Black men. And then there's prison. A lot of things for Black people that still haven't been passed that we were promised. A lot of things with the George Floyd and a lot of other things. A lot of Black leaders aren't really happy with Biden. All of a sudden, now in 2024.
That bothers me about Biden. He promised us a George Floyd bill.
It's a lot of other things.
And I also don't like his lack of involvement in the Shanquilla Robinson case. Yes. He really didn't throw his weight behind that.
And Breonna Taylor.
But on the other side of that, I'm going by what Liz Cheney said.
Trump wouldn't have done it either.
If Trump makes it in office in November, the following year when he starts getting his little oath in, whatever, our democracy will crumble bit by bit. And people are going to wake up, Wendy, and go, oh my God. Right. What do we do?
So that's the difference between.
Right, because that's the thing of it is, to me, if you support Trump, you're really not in touch with reality. You're not really dealing with reality, because we have facts, not assumptions. Millions of people died. He should have been held for mass murder for all the people he told, oh, COVID's not real. Go drink a little bleach and go to church on Easter. He caused those people to be dead.
I agree.
He unalived them. And so nobody says anything about that. But Trump is a mass murderer, period.
So, but what you don't want to do is what Hillary Clinton does all the time. And that is, you don't want to come off as, well, obviously you're stupid if you vote for Trump.
Deplorables. No. She called them deplorables. They are deplorable.
I wouldn't say that. Indeed. That's what I'm saying. And that is the reason why he's going to win in November.
I wouldn't say that about people. We're talking about mega people.
No, I'm telling you, because people don't like you saying if you tell me
pretty much you're an imbecile.
Right. They don't like it. Even though you can say it and believe it in your heart, people gonna say, just in spite, to spite these Democrats, I'm gonna vote for him. Or they won't vote at all. They'll just stay home. Yeah. Which means his mega people will come out and win. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, Democrats, which I think are just as dumb as I think both sides are stupid, if you ask me. Why not start saying what you like about Biden and quit always talking about what you don't like about Trump?
That's true.
Why not build his case up?
Yeah.
If you like him so much, talk about him. What has he done that you love so much?
That we know he's done and that he will keep.
I don't know. I guess my whole thing with Biden is based on the fact of his experience. So I'm assuming that at least 90% of the time, he knows more about the topic than Trump does, in my opinion, because of his years of experience and his compassion. Trump has neither compassion nor experience.
I don't think Biden has compassion. You wouldn't keep giving money to Israel for that compassion.
But for me, it doesn't matter about the compassion or
right.
Well, compassion is obvious when his children were murdered. He never forgot that.
That's for his own life.
And he that with him everywhere.
And that could be a politician move. We don't know. Because a lot of politicians, because that's probably why God says.
Well, that would be a raunchy politician move to use the death of your children.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't think he's that raunchy.
No, I'm saying we have to really be careful with that because we don't know. He's very compassionate. We know how he feels about his family. We don't know where his heart is when he does talk to someone else's who family may have passed away.
Unless he's really not a real person, it'd be very hard. It would be very hard for me to experience my best friend being murdered, and then you experience your best friend being murdered, and me not understand exactly what you went through. I think that's where Biden is.
I'm honest. To be honest, I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm not always compassionate about people. Well,
What are you talking
Wendy,
about?
there are
Well,
times when
you know, I
if
got a
I'm
lot. I
talking
have
to
a lot of.
somebody who has
I have
gone
a lot of faults. I have a lot of faults. I'm definitely not perfect. But
right.
if God gives me a star on something, it would be empathy
Y'all
and
going in another
compassion.
direction.
I'm
I'm
just
It
not
would
saying.
gonna
be
talk
I
about
guess
that.
for
empathy.
my
It would
point,
be empathy and compassion because I always
You're
feel
not gonna
that.
be talking about
but
compassion.
I'm just doing what you're saying.
All right.
The point I'm making, and it's bottom line, and
All
we
right.
can't argue the word
Hey,
of
Chris,
God
check
when it
in.
says
Uh-huh.
not to put our trust and confidence in man, and that's what really we got to be careful with. We like
You're
him
right.
for these reasons.
Yes.
Let's do a checklist,
right.
like Kim said.
You're right.
Build this list of what I like. Unfortunately, I
Yes.
don't like this candidate, but I'm not putting my trust in neither one of them because they both can be liars, cheaters, whatever.
Just like
And
that.
the enemy can use them for evil as well.
All right, just like that.
It's never good.
People show
It's never good.
videos and pictures of Trump at church giving money and offering plates. I'm done with it. I'm sick of y'all and all these people talking about how wonderful these men are. For God's sakes, we're voting for them for what they can do for the country. Now, if you like Biden, talk about that. Talk about the things he's done for the country and talk about what he's going to do for the country. If you like Trump, talk about what you think he's going to do and what he did when he was in 2020. Okay. Now, when I argue with people that are mega people, I argue facts. I don't argue about who I think is the nice guy and the grandfather around the corner. I argue about what he said he was going to do and what he didn't do and who's a lunatic. That's it. I talk about Trump who says when he gets into office, he's going to go after everybody that went after him. He said that out of his mouth. I don't go by what I think he's going to do. I go by what he says. I go by him calling the people who kicked in the doors of the Capitol hostages and says on the first day, he's going to free them. I talk about what he said. With Biden, I talk about what he does. You're compassionate, but yet you watch Israel drop bombs and bombs on people and destroy them, and you keep giving them money until the American people don't like it. Now all of a sudden, you have something to say about it.
So understand this: why people would probably, because you've built both sides to be an issue or a concern. Why people probably question, well, Kim, pray tell, are you staying home when it comes time to vote for the chief running officer of our country? Because you don't like neither one.
Well, you say, look, it's more than those two on the ballot.
I know.
And then number two, what The Rock is saying.
I don't think you like Kennedy either.
Number two is what The Rock is saying. And what you said, Wendy, just because he doesn't endorse him doesn't mean he's not going to vote for him.
That's true.
He just doesn't want to say anything because he doesn't want to cause division.
It's cause division.
So it could go either way. All I'm saying is the Republicans are knuckleheads for trying to use what The Rock said and say that that's an endorsement for Trump. He never said he was endorsing Trump. He never said he said, I'm not going to endorse Biden again. He didn't say who he was going to vote for.
That's true.
And that leads us back to the original question I asked, or the original point I was trying to make. He's probably doing that because of this discussion we're having right now. If I say I'm endorsing Biden, every person that's a Trumpster was call me an evil villain that's going to hell and going to destroy the world. And if I say I'm endorsing Trump, Wendy won't watch any rock movies anymore because all of a sudden he's a horrible man. So he's saying, leave me out of it. I don't want to talk about it. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Let's go do some WWE. That's what he's saying.
The bottom line is it's never a good idea to put anyone on a pedestal.
Right.
Because they're going to fall off and they're going to disappoint you.
Exactly.
So don't base your decision on whether you like them or not.
Right.
Base your decision on the facts that are given, that are presented to you, that you have seen over and over again.
And you're like my mother, Wendy. My mother likes Biden. When he gets on and he calls and talks about his son passing away, she'll have a tear in her eye because he feels what that person is feeling. All I can say is, okay, I believe it too, Wendy. I believe that because he lost his son, he has a connection with people like that. I believe that let me tell you something. The best thing that can tell you about a person are the people that's around him. The fact that he had McCain as a friend and McConnell likes him and other people, it tells me maybe in real life, he's a good guy.
Down to earth.
Where Trump, nobody, he has no friends.
Not even his family.
Every cabinet member leaves. His wife doesn't even want to be near him. Jill runs up and hugs Biden. She loves the man. Or she's a great actress. So that leads me to believe he didn't have a porn star and a prostitute on the side. Because his wife actually likes being with him. So that's all I can do is go by what people around them and how he comes up.
Dr. King said it best.
Yeah.
Don't judge a man by the color of his skin, but by the contents of his character.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right.
But
Trump don't have no character.
My mother doesn't like Trump.
He has character
Now, at
flaws.
the end of the day,
he has character.
At the end of the day, like I said, they're both, well, Trump wasn't. He is a politician. They're both politicians. I've worked for politicians. I've worked for politicians that are good politicians, but I've also seen them do stuff that most people would be like, ooh,
I know.
At the end of the day, Biden is a politician.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line. So that's how I feel. He could be a good man and also be a politician.
I think he's a good man.
All right.
Okay, Ma. Okay. Mama's amen to that.
I pray for him every day. I love him.
You should be praying for Trump too.
All your leaders.
He might be treated like Nebuchadnezzar was.
Mama.
And I think it's personality.
My mom wants so bad for Trump to have a King Nebuchadnezzar experience where God humbled him and he became an animal, crawled on the ground, claws coming out, teeth. And when he came back to himself, he was like, "Oh God, I love you."
Was it Jezebel when they found her head was missing?
Oh, it was her body was pieces, I thought. All the animals ate
her body. Yes. Yeah. So you keep doing what you're doing. You don't know how you end up. You better watch yourself.
That's right.
Don't tempt God.
Right.
There you go.
So that's all. We just put that out there. That's why I asked you, Wendy. I asked Lenore, whatever. I would like to see us get to a place, even if somebody is on a whole nother, you could just be like, that person is a knucklehead, Wendy. You could just be like I told you, I was arguing with a friend of mine today. Mm-hmm. Anybody that would say that those guys from January 6th were hostages, I told him, you drank the Kool-Aid. Now, if we was back in the days with Jim Jones and you had a friend who was in a cult, you would still be their friend. You would just pray for him and ask God to get him out of it.
You know what? I think we're using that word friend too loosely. That's probably what it is, Wendy.
You probably think I'm talking about your best friend, somebody you talk to every day. No, I'm not talking about that.
It'll be an associate we'll talk to now and then, but he won't be a friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
We'll side-eye him. Mm-hmm. But I get it.
If we came on Monday morning, Wendy, and we was talking about how much we have jumped ship and now we are pro-Trump, you would say we were stupid.
I would say, oh, well, I guess that's the end of story time.
She'll exit stage right.
Yeah. Now, see, some people in the comment section would say I'll still be there.
They wouldn't.
Yes, they would. How many of y'all in the comment section?
They would be praying for us real
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Interceding.
And hope that we don't talk about politics.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all talk about other stuff? Don't talk about politics.
Oh,
because both of y'all are stupid when it comes to politics.
She said she'll.
But they got to get off of this.
Okay.
He did not endorse Trump.
They ran with that. I'm telling you, they took excerpts from his interview.
And I said, I told y'all the worst case scenario is even if he does, I still like The Rock.
I'm still here. Yeah.
I would just say he just stupid. That's all.
Okay.
All right.
What's the next one?
Justice for All says, good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Wendy P says hello. Hey, Wendy. Hey,
P
Justice.
is on. Okay.
Catilia says hi, ladies and mama. M. Perk says hi, ladies. Hi, everyone. And Catilia says hello to Wendy.
She's saying hello to you, Wendy.
Hello, how are you?
Okay. All right, so that's it. That was a nice heated discussion.
I mean, just it takes you where you need to.
Now, this is a discussion that y'all